Imagine this, a crowded bank in the heart of the city. Security cameras in every corner. Armed guards at the doors. Vaults sealed with steel, impossible to breach. Everything under control, or so they thought. But in broad daylight, right in front of everyone's eyes, a group of men walked in, dressed as ordinary maintenance workers. Carrying toolboxes. Looking busy. Nobody suspected a thing. Not the customers. Not the employees. Not even the guards. And just a few minutes later, millions of dollars vanished from that bank, while everyone still believed they were just fixing the wires. So how did it happen? And how did this gang pull off one of the smartest, strangest robberies in history, without firing a single shot? Let's rewind, to that big city bank. A fortress, really. Around-the-clock guards. High-resolution cameras. Automated steel doors that locked down at the slightest breach. The employees were convinced, any robbery attempt would be stopped in seconds. But as we all know, no system is flawless. There's always a weak point. The only question is, who finds it first? And that's where this story begins. A group of unknown men decided to play a game of wits against one of the most secure banks in the city. These criminals didn't just walk in by chance. No, they had been watching the bank for weeks. Tracking the guards' routines. Studying employee schedules. Even noting the busiest times inside the bank. And then, they spotted something small, but deadly. The bank frequently called in maintenance crews, electricians, repairmen, system technicians. And that's when the idea struck them. What if we became the maintenance crew? On a bright morning, a small van pulled up in front of the bank. From a distance, it looked perfectly ordinary. Four men stepped out. They wore matching blue uniforms, each stamped with the logo of a maintenance company. White helmets. Toolboxes in hand. The picture of professionalism. The guard at the entrance didn't even ask for ID. Why would he? They looked exactly like every other repair team the bank had ever called. The men walked in, calm, steady, confident. No running. No hiding. No nerves. Just the look of men doing their job. And that was exactly why everyone believed them. While employees were busy with customers, the repairmen moved through the building with ease. Past cameras. Past guards. Nobody questioned them. One of the oldest rules in the psychology of crime says, if you act like you belong, people won't doubt you. And they applied that rule flawlessly. The path to the vault wasn't simple. But it wasn't impossible either. They carried official-looking papers, stamped documents. When one employee asked why they were there, they simply smiled, showed the papers, and walked on. Doors that should have been locked, opened in front of them. And here's where it gets thrilling. The vault was the most secure part of the bank. Normally, entering it required special clearance codes and layered security checks. But the criminals knew the perfect timing. Every morning, during the preparation for money transfers, the vault was briefly accessible. They didn't need explosives. They didn't need hacking tools. They didn't even need to force their way in. All they needed was to be there at exactly the right moment, looking like the people who belong. And quietly, they began filling bags. Stacks of cash. Bundles of currency ready for transport. Even valuables. There were no raised voices. No rushing. No chaos. They worked slowly, deliberately, like it was just another day on the job. The shocking part wasn't the robbery itself, but the simplicity of it. And quietly, they began filling bags. Stacks of cash. Bundles of currency ready for transport. Even valuables. There were no raised voices. No rushing. No chaos. They worked slowly, deliberately, like it was just another day on the job. The shocking part wasn't the robbery itself, but the simplicity of it. No guns. No masks. No threats. Just calm confidence, and a plan executed to perfection. A few minutes later, the maintenance crew walked right back out of the bank. Just as calmly as they'd entered. Past the guards. Past the cameras. Past the employees. They loaded the bags into their van, started the engine, and drove away. No alarms. No shootouts. No chase. And no one realized what had really happened until hours later, when the bank discovered millions were missing. When the police arrived, they faced a puzzle. No forced entry. No broken locks. No firefights. The cameras revealed nothing suspicious. Just maintenance workers walking in and walking out. But the truth was chilling, these weren't workers. They were one of the smartest gangs the city had ever seen, pulling off a robbery so clean, it was almost perfect. This true story proves that the most successful crimes aren't always about weapons or violence. Sometimes, it's about intelligence and deception. Because sometimes, to rob a bank, you don't need a gun, or a bomb, or even a mask. All you need is a blue uniform, a toolbox, and the confidence to smile like you belong.